Georgia Gwinnett College acquired this property in 2012, and today, both the men's and women's championship tennis programs call this place home. This is the view from the Grizzlies Soccer Complex, home to both the men's and women's soccer programs at Georgia Gwinnett College. The state-of-the-art playing turf provides an outstanding surface for elite-level competition. The on-campus facility features laser-graded technology, an advanced drainage system, and team dugout-style seating. The Grizzlies Soccer Complex hosts not only two top-notch soccer programs, but conference and national tournaments as well. For more information on our first-class facility, visit our facility page at ggcathletics.com.
watching the Grizzly Digital Network. Now let's go live to the voice of the Grizzlies, Matt Mahoney.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grizzly Digital Network. I'm Nick Banaszak alongside Matt Mahoney, and we've got a doozy of a nightcap here for Game 2 of our semifinal. It's the number 2 seed, the Waldorf Warriors, taking on the 3rd-seeded Bellevue Bruins. Talk all the time, Matt, how in any sport it's hard to beat the same team 2 times in the season, but tonight Waldorf's going to try to pull off the hat trick, going 3 for 3 against the Bellevue Bruins.
It's almost impossible to beat a team 3 times in a row in the world of sports, and we're going to find out if that's true here tonight as we take a look at Bellevue and Waldorf going toe-to-toe, the battle of 2 teams that are quite familiar and fond with one another, maybe in a negative way, fond with one another, as these 2 teams are going to do battle here tonight. Bellevue making a long trip all the way from just outside Omaha, Nebraska. The Bruins head coached by Markeith Preston making a return trip here to this AI championship. And what's interesting, Nick, is that Markeith Preston team last year was one of the best ranked teams in the nation. They may still be one of the best teams in the nation, but they've been battling with injuries. So you'll see later on their record may not be reflective of how good they actually are.
We'll talk more about that in the broadcast. But, of course, the Bruins boasting a win over the number 1 team in the nation this year, Central Methodist, a 2-1 victory back in September. Then, of course, looking at the Waldorf Warriors making the trek down to Georgia this weekend from Iowa, coached by Edgar Gonzaga, and he's back to one of his favorite places here at the Grizzly Soccer Complex. Of course, it was 2 seasons ago in his inaugural season as coach of Waldorf, where he took the Warriors down here and they won the AII Conference Tournament. He's trying to repeat that feat again 2 years later this weekend. So obviously their big gun is Guilherme Alencar, the 2019 AII Newcomer of the Year. So a lot of talent on both sides. Let's meet them right now. Throw it over to public address announcer Dale Long.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep the starters for this evening's match. First up for the Bruins of Bellevue University, the famous number 3 seed with a 7-9-2 record. In goal, number 21, Harry Ray. Number 2, Andy Wilkinson. Number 3, Portland Frank. Number 7, Giovanni Acito. Number 9, Yaki Aldo. Number 14, John Cover. Number 20, Federico Amani Ranchi. Number 23, Finley Bloodworth. Number 27, Jaeger Erickson. Number 29, Andy Jensen. And number 30, Alex Cuenca. The Bruins are coached by Markeith Preston. And now let's meet the starters for the Waldorf Warriors. Tournament number 2 seed with a 10-5-2 record. In goal, number 1, Raul Guillermo. Number 2, Joseph Burilan. Number 5, Athos Montiero. Number 6, Enrique Lucas. Number 8, Edwin Lopez. Number 9, Gilmar Alencar. Number 12, Jordan Hardy. Number 14, Howard Sturgeon. Number 25, Carolus Vince. Number 29, Albel Finham. And number 30, Juan Arroyo. And coached by Edgar Gonzaga. It's halftime.
And welcome back. So we've met both squads. And again, Waldorf here coming in on tonight's matchup with a record of 10 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws. And this is the 3rd time in 3 weeks they're going to be matching up against Bellevue. Both of those prior matchups last week and 2 weeks ago were 1-0 victories. It was Guilherme Alencar scoring the game-winning goals in both of those contests. Prior to this season, Waldorf had never beaten Bellevue, 0-10 against them all time, but have upped that to 2-10 now. And, Matt, you can just tell there's a different feel to this Waldorf team right now. They're coming in amped up with a lot of energy and coming in on a roll.
They really embody their head coach in Edgar Gonzaga, a younger guy in his 3rd season, very energetic. You even heard there in the starting lineups, they're amped up, they're ready to go. I would not put it past this Waldorf team to come out and get an early goal. That's only going to fuel their confidence. Bellevue, a veteran team, they're healthy. They've been to these big matches before. they feel confident in 90 minutes. Maybe not the first 5 minutes. They feel confident in 90 minutes of soccer. So we'll see how it plays out here.
Of course, Bellevue coming in with a record of 7 wins, 9 losses, 2 draws. But again, don't be deceived by this record. They've battled injuries this year, but there's a lot of talent on this squad, including last year's Conference Player of the Year, Naki Aldeo. Scored 14 goals and 14 assists last season. Not quite as high as a mark this year, as he's been one of those guys battling the injury bug. But again, they did knock off #1 Central Methodist back in September, so they have the talent to make a run and get to that national tournament. We're underway. It's Waldorf in possession, and we expect this one to be a good one tonight here at the Grizzly Soccer Complex. Of course, the winner of this one's going to move on to face the host team and the #1 seed, Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzlies. GGC with a 1-0 victory over Lincoln in the other semifinal that just wrapped up a little bit ago. So the Grizzlies will be taking on one of these two teams tomorrow evening at 7 Eastern. It's Waldorf early on, moving that ball around. Of course, the Warriors boasting the 2019 co-goalkeeper of the year, Raul Guillamon Behar, the big man out of Barcelona, Spain, and his season has been absolutely astounding. In fact, he has not surrendered a goal since he's been in between the pipes since a 2-0 loss to Northwestern way back on September 11th. That was more than 2 months ago. And since that time, Waldorf's only had one match where they've actually surrendered a goal. So this defense has been stout, to say the least. So we'll see how this Bellevue squad tries to come out and attack. Again, these prior 2 contests, both 1-0, both going the way of Waldorf. Just underway. Warriors play it out to that near side, intercepted by Bellevue. Kick it around. Just one senior on this Bellevue squad. That's Finley Bloodworth, second team all-conference midfielder from Kings Lynn, England. But they may lack in experience, they more than make up for in talent. There's an aerial, won by Waldorf, and then clear downfield. Right about 40 degrees right now. We've dropped just a few degrees since our last matchup, but it's a little chilly. It is comfortable, and the main thing is we've got clear playing conditions. The rain that was in Metro Atlanta earlier today has cleared out, and we expect clear skies the rest of the way.
You promise?
That's what I'm told.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
That's what I'm told.
Fair enough.
Just underway here. And for Bellevue tonight, you just saw him scoop that up. It's Harry Ray getting just his 3rd start of the season in for A.J. Jarvis, who I believe is also out with an injury. Ray, of course, 2 years ago, he was the 2017 goalkeeper of the year. So he's got the pedigree, got a great resume, more than enough experience. Last year, of course, it was just Jarvis having an outstanding season as he took that starting job, but now it's Ray back in between the posts tonight. There's Sturgeon, plays it out to the far side. And it'll be Bellevue taking that back. Again, the Bruins have 6 all-time appearances in the NAIA National Tournament. Of course, they made it last year. Were they were able to make it to the round of 16 in Irvine, California. 26 All-Americans in the program history. Well, they certainly have a proud tradition, and like nothing more than to make another trip back to the postseason.
And I hope we serve this story justice, because we don't want to sell Waldorf short on 2 1-0 victories versus his Bellevue team. But historically, this Bellevue team is one of the best teams in the nation, not just in the AII, not just in the North Star, but one of the best teams in the nation. They made it to the final site last year in Irvine, California, and so they've just been hampered by injuries, and their 7-9-2 record. Just they haven't stayed healthy. They haven't been consistent. So, again, I don't want to sell Waldorf short, but when Bellevue's healthy and when Bellevue plays well, they are one of the best programs in the entire country. And so for the Bruin fans, they're expecting to see that here tonight, for the most part, without their starting goalkeeper, but certainly impactful player. And I'll give you an example here Nick, of what this season's been like for Bellevue. How about Toby Millward is second team All-AII? That's the best player out there on the field wearing number 5 in black. And because of his injuries and because of the inconsistency, his individual accolades falls to the second team. But I can promise you, all 4 of these men's coaches were picking a starting 11. Toby Millward is going to be on that starting 11 of the best members of this conference.
No doubt about that. Wilkinson, Millward, of course, both of those guys are honorable mention All-Americans last year, as was Inaki Aldeo, who, again, he was the conference player of the year 1 year ago. Still not a too shabby season this year.
No.
6 goals, 6 assists. When you had 14 and 14 last year, it's a high standard. Here comes a free kick into the box, low, cleared away. And Bellevue will try to get back in possession here. There's a high boot, and that'll be a free kick down the other way.
And Waldorf, we've seen in the 2 years of them being the AII, they are probably one of the best teams in the counterattack. That's how they beat Georgia Gwinnett 2 years ago. They got a counterattack early in the contest. They added a late one, make it 2-0 to crown that 2017 championship. But and what's crazy is normally chances created on counterattacks are from set pieces, corner kicks, free kicks where the defense gets, and like the ball is cleared out toward midfield, and you find yourself a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-2 break and an advantage. Waldorf attacks from every spot on the field. It's like every turnover is a goal-scoring opportunity. You'll see 10 guys behind the ball, and then you'll see 7 guys attacking in the counterattack, and they come at you from so many different angles, and it's so impressive how they can seem so complacent and lackadaisical and on their heels defensively, then boom, a turnover, and here they come the other way.
Bellevue, the ball is knocked out, and will be a throw into the Bruins. As we talked about Aldeo, he's the big gun up top. Honorable mention All-American last season. Leads the team this year, 41 shots on goal. Just for some context, he had 92 shots a season ago when he was healthy and terrorizing everyone he played.
Thank you. That's the point I'm trying to make right there, Nick. Nail on the head right there, my friend.
About 8 minutes in, no score here at the Grizzly Soccer Complex. Semifinal number 2 in the men's AII conference tournament. It's number 2 Waldorf against number 3 Bellevue, and again the winner is going to take on the top seed Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzlies tomorrow night. There's a hard.
I think the referee got hit there.
Yeah. There's a race to the ball. Bellevue's on it.
I joke with our athletic training staff, if the trainer gets hurt, who helps them? And so the referees, one of the top priorities is player safety and making sure head injuries, they get medical treatment as soon as possible. If the referee has a head injury, who blows the whistle for him? To check on him? Who's looking out for the center ref?
It may just be a free-for-all in that instance. Down there battling, there's Sturgeon for Waldorf.
And very contrasting styles, too. Waldorf with that counterattack like we mentioned, but Bellevue very strong on the ball. They're going to want to possess things, string 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 passes together, and they're so strong with the ball at their feet, with their back to the goal, and you get in that attacking third, and they have lots of rifles all over the pitch.
Absolutely. And their most recent matchup a week and a half ago was actually Bellevue out shooting Waldorf 12-3. So, again, kind of to your point there, the Warriors may not have the quantity of shots, but they try to make up for it with the quality of those counter attacking opportunities. There's a big ball down the near side. Giving chase is John Cover, midfielder from Gretna, Nebraska. It'll be a goal kick here for Waldorf. Again, that's Raul Guillamon Behar in between the pipes tonight for Waldorf, and can't stress enough how impressive his season has been this year. Battle in the midfield.
Yeah, rightfully so for Guillamon Behar. 1.1 goals against average on the season. Meaning if you're able to get one in the back of the net on the Waldorf, it's been your lucky day. Waldorf, a little bit of a winning streak, too, as well. 8 wins in a row for this team, streaking into the AI Championships in Lawrenceville.
Yep, they've come in hot.
And that's why I think a goal early for Waldorf does so many good things for them. It's going to keep continuing that confidence. It's going to keep that momentum from their 8-game winning streak. It's going to remind Bellevue, hey, we beat you twice already this season, regardless of how healthy you were. Because I think Waldorf scoring first is one of the big keys for this match here for the boys in white.
There's Goriantz down the near side, out of bounds.
Or is it?
Oh, it stays in. Now it's out. So the Warriors here will try to get something going just on the edge of that penalty box. Goriantz slips through a defender. And that's cleared away. Nice tackle there by Bellevue.
A little extracurricular there by the Waldorf attacker. After the slide tackle came in over the top, and the referee wasn't too happy about that. And again, the inconsistencies, we'll beat this to death, I'm sure, over the next hour, Nick. But the inconsistency of Bellevue has just been the head scratcher for the Bruins. Is you look at their schedule, and with that new RPI coming out, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Bellevue beat the defending national champions in Central Methodist. And by the way, it's not like it's a big rebuilding year for Central Methodist. They're still in the top 5 of the NAI poll.
Oh, yeah.
But Bellevue beat that team this year, and they also pulled a draw against Hastings. I mean, we're talking about 2 of the best teams that were in the round of 8 last year in Irving, California. Bellevue beat 2 of the, or had 2 good results against those guys this year. And so if they can piece it together today and tomorrow, it's just, it's so frustrating, too, when you realize you got all the pieces, you got all the talent, you just haven't had enough time to put it together.
Absolutely. And that is the only loss for Central Methodist all season. They're still top of the polls, defending national champs. So, again, just speaks to the talent here on this Bellevue squad. There's a big ball in the box, but well out of play, and so it'll be a goal kick here for Bellevue.
And the sad news is, as good as both these teams are, and as well as they are representing this AI tournament, there's just not enough of the resume for either one of these teams to rest their hat on an at-large bid. That national tournament field has been expanded to 45 teams, which means there are going to be about 15, 16, or 17 at-large bids handed out by the NAI National Office. And to sit here and say Bellevue's not one of the 45 best teams in the nation, I'm not comfortable with saying that. And I could say the same for Waldorf, who has beaten Bellevue twice, and rightfully so with 10-5-2. But just when you start adding all the elements of the selection committee and the RPI, the MRPI, the strength of schedule, and their record, there's just not enough substance there for either one of these teams. And so the good news is you control your own destiny if you win today and tomorrow and take the automatic bid out of the AI. But the bad news is if you don't win that championship tomorrow, your season will come to an end.
No doubt about it. Here's Lucas now controlling. Plays it off to the far side. A race to the corner, but unable to get to it is Waldorf. So no conversation happening down there. So we're 14 minutes in here at the Grizzly Soccer Complex in Lawrenceville, Georgia. No score between number 2 Waldorf and number 3 Bellevue. Those are the seeds in the AII Conference Tournament. Whoever wins this one's going to go up against top seed Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzlies tomorrow night. very early here. Neither squad yet with a shot on goal. It's cleared away and will be a throw-in coming up here on that far side for Bellevue. Reset over to Bloodworth. Nothing in the box, running out, and nice save there was Guillamon Behar. It was a dangerous ball there. Nobody came up with it and got there just before the boot of that Bellevue attacker, and he may, looks like, yeah, he is shaken up. We may have a break here. Of course, as well as he's played, we all know how vital he is to Waldorf's success.
And I was going to say, as good as he is, and as smart as a decision that was, temperatures are still in the low 40s here, and any sort of contact with any sort of extremities, whether it's shin to shin or elbow to elbow or catching a knee to the ribs or something like that, or a boot to the stomach, is going to shake you up here and make things just a little bit worse. As James Williams, our head athletic trainer and strength and conditioning coach here at GGC, checking out that right shin guard, right leg.
See on the replay there, it looks like the attacker just maybe nicked him on the.
Might have banged shins a little bit there. So the good news is for goalkeepers, they get the exemption that the center referee deems that medical treatment is necessary. They do not have to step off.
All right, so got a pause here, just about 1/3 of the way through the first half. Bellevue comes on back to the field. Here comes Waldorf. And these two squads very familiar with each other, playing each other for the third time in 3 weeks. And up until a few weeks ago, Waldorf had never beaten Bellevue. It had been 0-10.
Wow. I knew the hadn't beat him, but I didn't know it was 10 tries. Wow.
Right, back into play we go. Carolise Venice getting a rare start tonight. Defense there for Waldorf. He's a senior out of London, transferring in from Northeastern A&M. So far, both sides just kind of feeling each other out. As we talked about, Bellevue, definitely a possession-oriented team. Content to pass it around, look for those breakdowns where you can find the gaps. Waldorf more on the counter-attacking side. Alan Carr, of course, he's had a big season. The 2019 Newcomer of the Year. 23 points, 10 goals, and 3 assists on the season.
Yeah, he gets it done.
Also got to keep an eye out on number 5, Athos Montero. He's a senior. He'll play out in the back, but he's got 5 goals on the season.
Definitely a Batman and Robin kind of combination. When the scouting report comes out, all eyes go to number 9, but it's kind of the attention that number 9 draws, and Alan Carr really opens up things for Monteiro on the outside for this Waldorf team.
Monteiro and Alan Carr both making first-team all-conference, as did the midfielder Edwin Lopez and, of course, Guillamon Behar, who's the co-goalkeeper of the year.
Lopez finds himself more in sort of that holding midfield position that really you got to go through Lopez in order to get to that attacking third, and it's Lopez that's so good with his first step that he can create those turnovers and really starts that counterattack for that Warrior teams that loves it so much.
Be a throw in here to the Bruins. There's a shot off the deflection, but well wide of that far post, so goal kick. Edgar Gonzaga, now in his third season in charge at Waldorf. Trying to go back to the NAIA National Tournament where he took his squad 2 seasons ago.
I'll tell you a quick story here on the Grizzly Digital Network, Nick, that 2 years ago when Edgar Gonzalez and Waldorf made a great run, that was our first exposure to Waldorf. We didn't know a whole lot about him, and so we get to know our opponent's fan base a little bit, tracking our viewers and our numbers on the broadcast. So after the tournament was over, we can look at social media traffic, we can look at live broadcast traffic, and kind of see where our audience is coming from, right? Well, because we were in the middle of hosting the opening round, too, I didn't quite get a chance to break down our numbers until December. And so the kind of season's over, we get wrapping up this semester, and I go back and track, and I see that the AII championship interview had over 1,000 views on Facebook. And it was in like a 36-hour period, too, as well. And I was like, AI championship. And so I go back and I click on the link, and sure enough and behold, Edgar Gonzaga's face pops up right up on the screen. It was just such a great moment for him and that program and that campus to be on the map in the AII, to stun the Grizzlies on the road. And they had a tremendous fan base that followed that team all the way through the 2017 season. And just a very euphoric moment that really came to fruition as Edgar was speechless. I mean, he didn't know what to say. He barely knew who to thank. What most people don't realize is his whole team is standing behind the camera, too, as well, egging him on and trying to fluff him up a little bit, too, as well. And so I'll never forget being able to interview Coach Gonzalez after he had been soaked with about 3 different coolers after winning that championship, and a proud moment for that campus back in Forest City, Iowa. So challenge to all of the Waldorf Warrior faithful out there. We hope to have you back here in 2019 and keep that social media traffic going. We want to thank you guys for tuning in here. Don't be afraid to get on the conversation. Use that hashtag AIIMSOC. That's a short for AI Men's Soccer. So hashtag on Twitter, hashtag AIIMSOC. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from, and who you're listening for here on the Grizzly Digital Network.
Bloodworth, he'll play it up to cover. That's knocked out. And we'll do a quick throw in. And Finley Bloodworth, the one senior on this Bellevue squad. If I remember right, Matt, I think it was Finley Bloodworth who had some friendly dialogue with the Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzly fan base last year in the championship game. It's a great game, by the way.
I do remember of the incident and the energy that was here for that championship, but I don't want to claim Mr. Bloodworth guilty of that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't want to confirm it either. You know what I mean?
I believe it was him, but we'll go back and check the records.
I agree. It was a very intense battle between 2 top 12 teams, if I'm not mistaken, in the national poll. And we just knew it was going to come down to us and them, and we had to go through the other one. Fortunate enough that GGC was able to get a goal in the second half, and then Bellevue was able to take an at-large bid to the opening round. Both won and advanced to that final site in Irvine, California.
There's the ball up on the near side. It'll be Erickson on the throw-in. His cross is blocked, so we'll do it again. Coming up on the 23-minute mark, and again, no score here in our second semifinal of the day here in the AI tournament. Crossing the box and batted away by Guillamon Behar. Heads up play right there. Now here comes Waldorf with one of those counter opportunities. And it's intercepted. That will shut down the attack. Bellevue, see if they can counter the counter here. Giving chase there was Coletto. And look out now, here's an opportunity. Erickson into the box, but can't get by the defender. Heads up play there by Goriance. So it looked for a moment there that Erickson was going to maybe able to penetrate down into that box. There's a cross that's deflected away off the head of Leonam. And Bellevue with it again briefly. Jordan Hardy gets his boot on it to knock it out. So another throw in back to Bellevue.
An indication that Waldorf hasn't been able to get in transition as they pack about 2 lines of defense, the midfield and the back line, which is about 8, sometimes 9 players, are all within about 15 yards of depth between the midfielder and Coletto and the 2 center backs for the Warriors. It's all of about 15 yards. And if you catch a turnover for the Warriors, watch how quickly they spread out and get going in the other direction. So they're going to ask their target forward at the top, you mentioned him, Alan Carr, to collect, control, and play off of those guys streaking toward him. So keep an eye on number 11 and Coletto in that midfield is going to be trying to trigger those counterattacks. And again, that's not a counterattack. That's just a dangerous spot that the Warriors got to boot things out of the back. You're looking for a true interception of a pass or a foot fight and a steal for the Warriors to get going back in the other direction.
So here's Bloodworth on the throw-in for Aldeo. Haven't called his name a whole lot yet.
Dangerous play there between Gorence and his teammate Alan Carr. Both seem to be okay.
Back into play, Bloodworth. Knocks it over to Wilkinson. Back over to Bloodworth. Big ball knocked away and another throw-in coming the way for Bellevue. Again, neither side with an official shot recorded yet.
I was just looking at that one, if that was official or not.
Bloodworth tries to fill the crease there, but it's intercepted.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. I'm confirming here. No shots, none of them on goal. Got no corner kicks, no cards, no goals, no sunshine, no heat. That's not me complaining. I'm just painting a picture here.
I think I think we're going to see things ramp up here. Again, these two teams know each other's tendencies. They know.
Yeah, that's something we haven't considered. You're
where
right.
the opportunities are.
This is the 3rd time these two teams have played. They know each other in and out.
What's the new wrinkle you can maybe unveil that they haven't seen before already?
Yep, very true.
Play continues. And trying to get around his man there is Lucas. He's dispossessed. Erickson now. His pass in is knocked away, and they'll go back to Waldorf. Coming down the near side there is Alan Carr. I need to tie his boots real quick. $18 minutes to go here in the first half. No score between Bellevue and Waldorf. Hope you're enjoying the action on this Friday evening here on the Grizzly Digital Network Championship Weekend here on the campus of Georgia Gwinnett College. Always a great time of year. Of course, we've got 2 automatic bids on the line this weekend. One for the men, one for the ladies.
My apologies, you're right. I didn't want to get the Bellevue and Waldorf people riled up there to think if you win here, you're right. You include the women, you're right, Nick. I'm sorry.
It is possible that they could get 2 on the men's side if GGC was
Oh,
upset.
that's true. I forgot about that. I apologize. Yeah, GGC, that new RPI came out today, and that's, I mean, we're now going to do a deep dive here into the AI play on the NAI National Tournament, but Georgia Gwinnett now ranked number 20 in the final poll, and the new MRPI came out, and they're at 15. So if the Grizzlies are watching, hit the mute button right now. You didn't hear this from me because Coach Koo is not going to be happy about it, but Grizzlies have basically punched their ticket to the national tournament because even if they lose tomorrow, they'll catch an at-large bid. Now, the problem with losing tomorrow is you probably won't get a chance to host and be a 1 seed, and that's really the ultimate goal for the Grizzlies heading into tomorrow. Winning a championship and keeping that trophy here is great and all, but going to the national tournament, being a 1 seed and hosting is huge, trying to make it to Irvine, California. So business to be done for GGC tomorrow, but you're right. Whoever wins this contest is able to upset Georgia Gwinnett. The Bellevue-Waldorf winner would take the automatic bid, and GGC would catch the at-large.
Of course, that's what happened last year, and the roles were somewhat reversed.
Correct.
GGC needed to get the automatic bid, and they ended up doing that, upsetting top-seeded Bellevue. So the AI got 2 last year. We'll see what happens in 2019. Waldorf now back on it. Sturgeon.
And taking a step further, you go back to 2017. Waldorf needed to beat GGC, and they punched their ticket to the national tournament for the first time. Grizzlies caught an at-large bid and had to beat Southern Oregon in the other opening round at home, and they did to go to the final site in what was then Delray Beach, Florida. So you're right. GGC's been on both sides of that. Automatic winners going to the final site and being at-large recipients still winning the opening round and going to the final site.
Got several other conference tournaments happening this weekend around the country as well. So it'll be interesting to see who all gets those automatic tickets to the big dance.
I mean, that's like a deep sea dive if you really want to go down there, Nick. I mean, I could give you some stuff, but it might give our viewership a lot of headaches and confusion.
May get into that a little bit later.
Okay. Keep it on the Sun Conference, folks.
15-minute mark now, no score.
I'm just saying, if GGC wins and we're going to host an opening round, probably somebody from Florida is coming up here as a 2 seed. And let's keep in mind, GGC lost to 2 teams from Florida in that Sun Conference tournament earlier this year.
Into the box, Erickson's cross shot just to the right of that near post. Great opportunity there. And
sorry, see, I got it in a little bit too much there. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. I believe that was Umani Ranchi.
Reel me back in, Nick. Reel me back in.
So Bellevue with the first real scoring opportunity of the night there. Bruins will set up for a corner kick. There's cover. And off the head and then quickly driven away. Ooh, look out now, high boot.
Can I wrap up my thoughts since I've got it on the tip of my tongue? It's driving me nuts, and I can't save it, Nick, okay?
To the conclusion.
Okay. So we talked about GGC's scenario in hosting and whatnot, but let's look at this from the scope of Bellevue or Waldorf. If they do win the AI championship and take that automatic bid, there is no telling, because their RPI isn't very good for either one of them. They could be 2 seeds, they could be 3 seeds, they could be sent to Florida, California, they could be sent anywhere the 15 opening round site. So as I sit here today in this tournament and in my office over the last week or so, calculating numbers with protractors and pencils and geographic radiuses and whatnot.
I'm having nightmares about geometry.
Yeah, exactly. I got an idea what it's going to look like for GGC, but for Bellevue and Waldorf, as low as your RPIs are, there's no telling. You can be sent absolutely anywhere. And I know that is 7 pages down the road from now. You're focused on this first half, but just know that if you are AI champions, you're going to watch that selection show on Monday, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, knowing you could go anywhere in the country for that opening round.
All right, so back into play we go here now. Waldorf.
Thank you, Nick. I'm done. I'll put away the calculator. I'll put away all my notes, and we'll stick to soccer.
We got to get maybe like a chalkboard here in the tent.
Yeah.
You know, we can have the little strings that connect to the different scenarios.
Yeah,
and
It's in my office. I'll go get it. You think I'm joking? What is it? Not Matt Damon. Not Matt Damon of Good Will Hunting. What's the Beautiful Mind?
Beautiful Mind.
Yeah,
yep,
that happens in my office frequently this time of year.
There's Wilkinson dribbling up. Plenty of green grass there. that far side up near the corner. It's out of bounds as Jacinto is battling with a couple different defenders there from Waldorf. There's a chip into the box, bounces and headed away. A reset on the edge, low cross, deflected out. Referee will blow the whistle.
Yeah, it's a tough break there for Toro. It just, your feet get tangled up in a tussle for the ball, and a little bit late to the party. Down goes Millward, and being a good quality player that he is, he's an easy whistle for the official.
So again, Toby Millward did not start tonight, but now in the game.
Which tells me he's healthy enough to play, but not 100%.
Right.
If he's 100%, he's a starter, and he plays 90 minutes.
It's an honorable mention All-American last year, first team All-Conference. Line in the box and just
good ball
past the reach there of the attacker.
Anytime you can deliver a ball inside the 6 that keeps the goalkeeper on his heels on the line, it's remarkable.
Toby Millward has started all 21 matches in which he's appeared this year. Check that was last season. Just started 9 games this year. And another one of those Bruins battling injury issues. The season's on the line tonight. Even if you're not 100%, whatever you can give is what you got to do.
I would say his 70 or 80% is better than most 100s.
It's true.
Most other 100%.
Absolutely. Back in action.
It was a quality moment. I shared this moment on the women's broadcast earlier today, but on the men's side, we got a chance to MC and host the AI banquet last night, and so going over the script, you see who's going to win the award before you announce it, and so I've been able to, it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine to kind of make eye contact with that award winner to see their reaction when I say their name or whatever. And so knowing Toby from last year, I was able to spot him in the crowd early in the banquet, and I knew it was coming. I don't know that he did, and seeing his reaction when he was announced to the AI second team was he took it. Let me start here. Took it with such grace and class and elegance. Didn't turn his nose up. Didn't react in a negative way or be unsportsmanlike. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But just from his facial expression, you could tell as he kind of stood up and his body language mixed in a little bit. He goes, "I'll show you second team." Like, you just tell the competitor inside him was, okay, I get it. I've been hurt this year. I've not been 100%. But you could tell, like, he came walking the stage and he just had that swagger about him, walking up to shake Ted Bridenstall hand, and I thought, oh, he is going to prove everyone wrong starting tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Had to wait till about 8:20 because he didn't start. But nonetheless, he's here to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, an ultra competitor, that's for sure. As part of that crew from Kings Lynn, England, of course, they've got that strong pipeline going back to the motherland there, does Coach Markeith Preston. But A.J. Jarvis and of course, Toby Millward, also Finley Bloodworth, all coming from that same town in East England. And why not? Definitely one of the world's great producers of soccer talent.
Heads up, Brenton. Big shout out to our great crew. 100% student-run production made up of GGC students. Brenton down there on the field. Monet up in the scaffolding, providing the sights and sound down there, bearing the elements. And we got Theo and Andrew working the graphics and the switcher. Certainly glad to have them here. And we'll get a quick nap and come back here in the morning tomorrow, Nick.
another full day tomorrow, that's for sure. What you live for this time of year, though?
I told him I'd let him sleep until 8. Seriously, the call time's not till noon. You guys are good.
It's over 7 minutes now. Looks like we're going to have a free kick here. Just one shot in this game thus far. That was coming from Bellevue a few minutes ago. here's Millward lining up behind the ball. Of course, here's the situation. You got to keep your eye out on number 9, Aldeo, 6'2". Has a good vertical and looking for him right there, but quickly up and grabbing that is the keeper, Guillamon Behar, so danger averted. He'll reset by rolling it out there to Goriance. There's a chip that does not find the mark. Aldeo took a tumble there and reset for another Bellevue free kick. So 6:35 to go now here in the opening half. Ball is headed and out of danger there. Looks like number 5 for Waldorf. That was Montero, able to quickly get that out.
Yeah, right, Johnny on the spot there, because he had a Bruin on his back that if he hadn't have been there to head that ball, I believe it might have been perhaps Cover there on the backside that, Eckerson that would have been able there to finish that ball.
Well, here comes John Cover on the corner kick. It's a low liner headed away. And Waldorf trying to counter, but Bellevue quickly able to.
I think the scouting report's out on that.
Yeah. Quickly able to retain possession. A good one so far. I haven't seen a lot of explosive plays or really any high opportunity scoring chances, but just a lot of strategy right now as these two teams continue to kind of pick and probe, trying to find that rare opening. Again, very familiar with each other's tendencies. You're playing for the third time in 3 weeks. The familiarity, you can quickly adjust, so we'll see what new wrinkles we may have here. The ball's headed out. Another whistle, and it's going to go the way of Waldorf here. One yellow card here. That was Osman Toro picking it up for Waldorf a few minutes ago on the challenge. Big ball into the box, headed. Misfire there, but then on the second attempt, able to clear it out. There's another lob down on the near side. Great hustle there, able to keep it inbounds, and they'll reset now. There's Lopez, and hang on. Bellevue. I think there's a disagreement about who touched that last. But it is going to be a corner kick for Waldorf as Finley Bloodworth really pleading his case there, but to no avail.
Bloodworth's a great defender. He can't afford to not be a man marked here on this corner kick.
There's a high cross off the corner. Quickly headed out. Coletto on the rebound. Gets by the defender. Low cross. Shot blocked. And great heads-up defense there as quickly coming out to try and race that ball down was Jacinto.
That was Igor Linom with that strike with the right foot, able to keep that ball low. That's really tough to do, even though it deflected at point-blank range. Quality effort for number 34 to Brazil.
So about 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go now here in the opening half. Again, no score here between Bellevue and Waldorf in our second semifinal of the AII Men's Soccer Tournament. On the redirect now, here comes Erickson. Nifty footwork there. Gets by one man, then another. Back to Millward. No reset down to Wilkinson. Over to Bloodworth. And batted away, so Waldorf just keeping those attackers, Aldeo and company, at bay for now at least. There's a cross to the far side. Trying to chip it in. It quickly blocked out, headed away again. Back and forth, somewhat like a seesaw right now, as neither team really dominating in possession. And we're now in the final 60 seconds here in half number one. Bloodworth will take the rollout. Fires it down to the other side. Bellevue here going to try to make something happen. Final seconds. That's a heavy touch. Goes back to the Bruins. And quickly knocking that away is Jordan Hardy. 23 seconds. Deflected into the box, waiting there, but unable to come down with it. It was Bellevue, and Kiemon Behar will just...
Millward was in the neighborhood. He didn't have the right angle to get a head on it, so he tried to flick it, but it just wasn't within his range.
So we're going to finish half number one with no score. Defensive battle, again, two squads very familiar with each other. No one taking a major risk up to this point, but certainly been some entertaining soccer. Matt, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, this looks like two teams that are very familiar with one another. It seems like the scouting reports are kind of out the window. They know each other too well, so you're on to page 2, page 3 of the playbook or the strategy. So coaches love deferring when good things happen to the guys on the field. They like taking credit when things go wrong and taking the blame away from the players. But I'm going to put it right on top of the two coaches, Edgar Gonzaga and Markeith Preston. You're going to have to make some halftime adjustments here, whether it's a personnel, a formation change, or you've been practicing that set piece in your back pocket all year long. Can you whip it out here in this second half to get yourself a victory? So I'm going to put it squarely on the coaches here to make some halftime adjustments. I think the better coached team wins this game.
There you go. A quick look at our halftime shots. Just 3 shots total in the match so far. 2 by Bellevue, 1 of those on target, 1 shot by Waldorf. Both teams with 5 fouls each. So we're going to take a break here at halftime at the Grizzly Soccer Complex. In the second game of our AII semifinal, it's no score between Bellevue and Waldorf. We're going to take a quick break here on the Grizzly Digital Network, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody, as we are back here at the Grizzly Soccer Complex. Just a few moments away from starting the second half. No score between Bellevue and Waldorf. Let's take a look at some of our first half highlights. Here in Lawrenceville, a chilly evening, and early on it was a dangerous moment there as Bellevue, as the goalkeeper, Raul Guillamon-Behar, able to come up with it for Waldorf, and then another opportunity later on in the first half as that ball into the box just to the right of that far post. So those were honestly the two best chances either team has had all night. It's been mostly defensive battle. You can see the stats there, just 3 shots total, 10 fouls, each team with 5 apiece. So a stalemate thus far. We'll see if the action cranks up here in the second half. It's still a good match, and we're underway now as it will be Bellevue coming out with possession.
Yeah, we didn't doctor any of those tapes. Those are the two best opportunities for either of these teams, and you said it with just 3 shots and that's been created. This has been a great game between the 8 teams. Not a good game inside either 8 teams, and credit the defenses for that.
Absolutely. Those back lines really answering the call early here. So we'll see what the second half holds. As again, Bellevue only 7-9-2 on the season, but again, they boasted they're the only team in America this year to beat the current number 1, Central Methodist, back in September. And when these guys are healthy, look out.
That's the thing, too, for the rest of the NAI. They read that score and say Bellevue, who was in the final site last year, beats the number 1 team in the nation this year. And you think, oh, wow, this team's, the Bruins are poised and ready to go back to the national tournament again. Well, then you chase those box scores and those scoreboards across the ticker, and you realize, well, they lost here, they lost there, they lose to Waldorf twice. Well, how good are they? They kind of become forgotten of what they've been able to accomplish in recent past. But I can assure you, if this Bellevue team is able to win today and win tomorrow, nobody is going to want to see them show up at their opening round next week.
100%, yep. And again, tonight for Bellevue, it is Harry Ray getting just his 3rd start of the season in between the posts. Regular keeper A.J. Jarvis out, another one of those Bruins battling the injury bug. But as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Ray is not a rookie. He was the conference keeper of the year just 2 seasons ago. Lost his job to the guy who won keeper of the year last year. So the cupboard is definitely not bare for Bellevue in that department.
I've heard of a similar story at, what is that place in Alabama that likes to play football?
Right, yeah.
It's like the exact same story.
Same script. That team's not as likable, though.
Tuscaloosa? Yeah.
Cinto's shot is quickly collected there by the keeper. And we're talking about keepers of the year, of course. Waldorf has the co-goalkeeper of the year, Raul Guillamon-Behar. He has not surrendered a goal in more than 2 months. He's been that good.
Could you imagine if Bellevue wins this game? We'll have 3 goalkeepers of the year in tomorrow's championship match.
That's right. That's a trivia question.
Yeah,
right
when's the last time? I was going to say, when's the last time that happened? But I know who's going to go back and look that up. I'll be here till midnight. Let's go with never, just to save me some time. How about that?
I believe that could be the safe bet.
I do know that if I bring that up to Dale tonight, he'll go look it up. I won't do that to Dale. Hopefully he's not listening right now. Sorry, Dale. Get some sleep, buddy.
Maybe just mention it to him as you're leaving the parking lot.
No, that's the worst thing to do because he'll literally do it till 3 o'clock in the morning.
So just a few minutes into it here in the second half. No score between Bellevue and Waldorf. And just 3 shots thus far in this match.
Total. Not 3 shots on goal or 3 shots by Waldorf or
3 shots total.
3 shots by Bellevue. No, there's 3 total shots in this game by both teams. And I think we've only got 1 of them on frame. This game has been, so I just said this 5 minutes ago, this game has been really good in between the 18s. But the back lines have just been too strong.
Yeah, they have suffocated all the opportunities. Just no air back there. Here comes Bellevue now. It's going to be Jacinto. Plays it back. Alex Cuenca, part of that back line, the freshman from Valencia, Spain, has started every match this season. So he's been one of the welcome newcomers to Coach Heath Preston's squad. Starting 11 here in the second half for Bellevue in numerical order. It's Wilkinson, Frank, Millward, Jacinto, Aldeo, Cover, Ray, Bloodworth, Erickson, Jansen, and Cuenca. And for Waldorf, you have Guillamon Behar in between the pipes, Goriantz, Montero, Toro, Lopez, Alencar, Coletto, Hardy, Sturgeon, Venice, and Urban Rodriguez now into the match. Throw in here for Waldorf. That will be Lopez. Plays it over to the far side. Waldorf just hasn't been able to get a lot of dribble penetration. Really, neither team has, but got to believe they're looking for some playmaking opportunities here. See how they can break down this back line of Bellevue. Dribbling around is Lopez. Nice tackle there to break that up. Now it's going to be Bellevue on the counter. Good ball on that far side, but just a little too much mustard on that. And that'll be a goal kick for Waldorf. So 7 minutes in here to the second half. And outside of our first matchup of the day, which was on the ladies' side, GGC knocking off Washington Adventist 4-0. All these other matches have been very much defensive slugfest.
What are you laughing at, Nick?
Trying to see what's going on over here behind me.
That clearance cleared the fence on the far side and hit a car going down Collins Hill Road. It's the little things that entertain you in life. When you're driving down Collins Hill Road at 50 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, bam, just out of nowhere, something hits you.
9 o'clock at night, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's dark on that road, too.
There's a shot, but well over the post. That looks like really probably the best opportunity of the whole night for Waldorf there. That was Coletto. Came in off the bench, but he stayed in since then and has showed a lot of gas there. Harry Ray on the goal kick here for Bellevue. And the Bruins will reset as Wilkinson plays it out to the far side. This Bellevue team, again, under 500 coming into tonight, but have to remember that a lot of this team has played injured, missed a lot of action. But you still have a lot of the main core from that team last year that went to the last 16, so they know how to win. They can just get a little bit healthier and catch fire here this week. And look out, that
Ooh.
shot is cleared away. Dangerous moment there.
You know what I was just ready to say? Trying to sum up this game with just 3 shots and no goals isn't really it's a poor indictment on how well this game is being played. So we just made that American football reference, and it got me thinking a little bit here. I know this isn't a stat that we can track, but I'll count here aerial passes greater than 30 yards. I would be willing to bet it's a less than 10% success rate because these back lines have been so good. They're winning those head balls, and the possession's going right back down to the other third, and they're sending a 30-yard long ball or more or longer or greater, and it's just those long passes. Heads up, Coach Taku. Those long passes just don't have any sort of success rate in this contest. So that's the adjustment you got to make if you're down there on the pitch.
Yeah, the long ball game not effective at all this evening. Here comes Waldorf trying to find an opening there on the far side. There's a high cross in.
Won by Bellevue.
Just haven't seen anybody really on either team able to get that dribble penetration and create those give-and-go type opportunities inside the box. Throwing coming up now, Jordan Hardy. Plays it off the rebound and tries to save it but cannot. So another goal kick coming up here for Bellevue.
Looks like Coach Taku's had enough. He had that one ball come toward him in the bleachers, and now he's bailing. He's out of here. He's had enough. He's clocking out. Or he's too cold, one or the other. You okay, Coach? I saw that ball come at you in the top row. You okay? You all right? All right. Coaches can use their hands, right? Sure, have a mint.
Got to grab a mint.
Anything else I can do for you?
All right, here's Waldorf now. Playing it on the far side. But again, just cannot finish there as Bellevue's back line snuffs it out. Trying to get around the edge.
Again, what's fascinating is whether it's Anaki Anaki Aldo or Guillermo Alencar or Athos Monteiro or the All-American and Toby Millward. The best 8 players on this pitch may be on the back line for both these teams. And so if you're Waldorf, guys like Jordan Hardy has rose to the occasion.
Absolutely.
Carlos Venez has rose to the occasion. Joseph Gorians for the Warriors, and then Athos Monteiro. He's only all-team, all-conference.
There's a shot into the net, and it right there for Bellevue. On the spot. Let's see who gets the credit there. Off a loose ball and in position, just a great rebound opportunity, and that was number 9, it looks like. That was Aldeo, or no, it may have been see if we can get a look at the replay. It was a quick rebound that got out, and Bellevue pounced on it. That's the first goal. FYI, first goal surrendered by Raul Guillamon Behar in more than 2 months. So 1-0, Bellevue pounces on an opportunity. And Waldorf now in the unfamiliar position of trailing. And it's going to be Andy Jansen. He gets the credit there. Andy Jansen coming in off the bench. He is the freshman forward out of Lincoln, England.
He was not on my list today.
Yep.
What a performance. What a finish.
How about that? Certainly a role player up to this point, but grabbing the spotlight right there. You can see, yep, he had a volley right there into the back of the net off that. As Waldorf now briefly takes it into the box before it's cleared away. So how about that? Andy Jansen, the freshman from Lincoln, England, with the big strike to put Bellevue on top 1-0. It was a beautiful volley. A lot of chaos going on there in the box. But great positioning there by Jansen, literally right in front of the net. And there was no doubt about it when he brought it in. Let's go ahead and take a replay, a quick look at that replay. There we go. You see Bellevue was playing it out on the outside. Just a high cross in. Deflected off the head and off the volley. Right there was Jansen.
That was Erickson on that far sideline, tiptoeing that far end line to get that ball across the face of the net.
So a freshman is the hero at this moment. Got a break in the action here right now. So as we kind of have this pause, let's recap things real quick. The Bellevue Bruins, the number 3 seed in this tournament, on top 1-0 thanks to the goal from Andy Jansen. And the Bruins now have 4 shots, 3 on target, 2 shots by Waldorf thus far. Each team with 5 fouls each. Couple saves for Waldorf, but unfortunately, again, for the 2019 co-goalkeeper of the year, Raul Guillamon-Behar, he surrenders his first goal in 2 months, an incredible streak he'd put together. But that's not going to mean anything if he comes up on the losing side tonight. So Waldorf now is going to have to claw their way back into this, down a goal to a team they've beaten twice in the regular season.
And again, we talked about how important it was perhaps for Waldorf to get out to a good start, get an early goal. Well, we burnt 45 minutes of this contest, and then it became Waldorf just needed to score a goal. They needed to be the first to score. And now with 31 minutes remaining in this contest, this plays beautifully into Bellevue's hands. They have the size, they have the physicality. There's another long ball over the top, won by the Bruins. Nobody's connected on one just yet, since I've started to keeping that tally in my head. But this plays right into Bellevue's hands beautifully with a 1-0 lead and a chance to burn this clock out. They're just going to lean on Waldorf here and try to take the air out of the ball.
A team that likes to play a possession-oriented style, so definitely within their wheelhouse. As the Warriors now, we've not mentioned Alan Carr's name a whole lot, and they're going to have to find a way to get him some looks quickly.
Yeah, that's another really good point. We haven't said his name a whole lot at all, if any, tonight for Waldorf. They've got to get him some positive touches on the attacking half in that midfield for the Warriors.
So we start things here on that far sideline, a throw-in coming up for Bellevue. So we have just hit the 30-minute mark. There's a low cross in and nothing doing there.
Dangerous ball, though. Had to be cleared off the end line by Waldorf defense. I believe Montiero got a boot on it. Now corner kick coming for Bellevue.
So again, it was Andy Jansen with the big strike just moments ago. And it's 1-0. Here's another corner into the box. Header on it. Guillamon-Behar on it. No problem. Quickly clear it down to the other end of the field. Wilkinson wisely taps it back to Ray. So Bellevue trying to keep hope alive for their 7th all-time trip to the NAIA National Tournament. Going to go back-to-back after making it to the last 16 1 year ago. And they wouldn't mind losing the season series to Waldorf as long as they can get the win here in the finale.
Yeah, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast how difficult it is to beat a team 2 times a year, much less 3 times a year. And Bellevue is proving that true here with Waldorf with 2 regular season wins. But also part of our storyline at the top of the show was Bellevue's health, and they feel like when they are healthy and have their best 11 on the pitch, they're one of the best teams in the nation. Proof with a draw versus number 5 Hastings and a win, and the only loss against defending national champion suffered at the hands of Central Methodist.
Waldorf now trying to reset, get an opportunity. There's a shot down low. Alan Carr, but well above the crossbar there.
That's a good start, though. You get a positive touch for Alan Carr in the attacking third. He's able to get a left foot off.
Again, need to give him some looks here. Gary Alan Carr, the AII Newcomer of the Year, had 23 points this season, 10 goals, 3 assists. And, of course, he scored both of the game-winning goals against Bellevue. Ray clears it back out. So there's still a long ways to go, but if this result were to hold, it means we're going to have a rematch of last year's conference championship game.
And that was an emotional game. That was a fierce game that came down to the wire as we get a goal by Miles Barber, one of the best goals we've had last season. Was a huge one to get the Grizzlies on the board. And then Bellevue answered with an equalizer. Then we had the game winner by Michael Weber. And again, it was probably 2 of the best 5 goals we had scored all year long. Happened at the AI Championship last year for George Gwinnett, beating Bellevue. And it'll take another world-class performance out of the Grizzlies if it is going to be this Bellevue team again. Because I'll give the Bellevue fans some words of encouragement here. They are a mismatch for Georgia Gwinnett.
Yep.
They're big and they are physical and they are strong on the ball and they win a lot of head balls, and that is a team that GGC has struggled with this season.
On the corner. Will bounce out to the other side. Rebound cross blocked. Man down. And look out. Yep. Ref says let's have a penalty. How about that?
So a crucial mistake here by Waldorf. Could be a tough way to end their night. And again, I believe it was a young man in Joseph Gorentz who tried to clear that ball off, swung and missed, literally, and then made contact with the Bruin attacker. And that's an easy whistle.
Yeah, that was Alex Cuenca who took the tumble there. So Bellevue now with the chance to double the lead, and with 25 minutes and change to go.
They go to the All-American.
It's never over till it's over, but this is going to make it difficult. Toby Millward with a chance to increase the odds. Here we go. Shot into the back of the net. Toby Millward coming through, and Bellevue is now on top 2-0 here as we come into the home stretch of half number 2 here in this semifinal.
Bellevue feel good about a 1-0 lead in 30 minutes to play. They're going to feel really good about a 2-0 lead in 25 minutes to play.
So Waldorf now really has their work cut out for them. Got to really try to keep a positive attitude here. But that's a big one right there for Bellevue. And again, just to remind our viewers, the Warriors have put together just a string of clean sheets. Raul Guillamon Behar has not been in every one of those matches, but he himself has not surrendered a goal until tonight, until September.
You say September?
September.
We're in November, right?
That was 2 months ago.
Okay, all right.
That was the last time he gave up a goal in a match.
Well, tip of the cap to Bellevue. I know you try to be respectful of what's going on here in the season that Waldorf's had. They're certainly disappointed with the current score that's on the board there, but we're not going to be I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, Nick, but Bellevue is one of the best teams in the nation when healthy, and this is as healthy as they have been in quite some time, and the results show that. Absolutely. You're talking about a team and the defending national champion, right? Central Methodist, the defending national champion, currently sits on the season with 18 wins.
And
right?
one loss.
And one loss. The one loss is to this team in purple you see right in front of your screen. That's how good this Bellevue team is. Keep in mind Hastings, too, as well. They worked the draw with Hastings on the road. Hastings has 14 wins and 3 losses and 1 tie.
I have a break here. Ref blows the whistle.
The Bellevue team was one of the top 10 teams in the nation. They came here to Lawrenceville last year, part of that AI championship. And the Grizzlies upset them 2-1. Well, guess who's going to be upset tomorrow in Bellevue when they look for that redemption against Georgia Gwinnett?
So 24 minutes and change to go now here, as Waldorf just looking to try to get something going here against this back line that's just snuffed out every opportunity. And the Warriors just 3 shots the entire match.
Man, you're on top of it, Nick. I was just getting ready to say, if we could revisit those halftime stats, right? 3 shots in total, 2 by Waldorf, 1 by Bellevue. Now we revisit it about 22 minutes later. It's now 6 shots by Bellevue. Waldorf only had 1 in this second half. Still 0 shots on goal for the Warrior team.
Yep. Harry Ray's not had to do a whole lot back there this evening. As Waldorf just trying to find a way to get Allen Carr some looks, but just haven't been able to do it. That one's cleared out. And Bellevue now, you can sense a little extra zing in their play here as they can start to smell it.
Yeah. Blood in the water, as they say.
Carr goes down there. So it'll be a throw in for Waldorf. And as we are approaching the halfway mark here of the second half. Bellevue just content to play possession here and wear out this Warrior attack. Lucas tries to chip it in, but no one home there, and Bellevue will clear it away. Again, the winner of this one, which right now Bellevue's in the driver's seat, will take on the top-seeded Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzlies tomorrow night at 7 Eastern. Grizzlies getting a victory over Lincoln College earlier tonight, 1-0. See, every time Waldorf is able to get it anywhere near that attacking third, the defenders quickly surrounding them, just no breathing room.
Ooh. A little bit of pressure there by Bellevue all the way to the top of that formation. Souvenir.
one's going to go the way for Bellevue.
Oh, Nick, you lied to me. It's raining again.
Ah. Hey, toughen up.
I'll try. It's so cold and rainy inside this tent.
Jose Sanchez into the game here for Waldorf, the junior defender out of Guadalupe, California.
We started the day in the rain, and it's only appropriate we finish the day in the rain, right? But for both these teams out of the Midwest, they certainly welcome the opportunity.
There's a ball on the near side for Bellevue. Shot deflected. Oh, there, that was Jacinto.
Waldorf's got some numbers here. They did have some numbers here.
A free kick for the Warriors as that was Rodriguez taking a tumble.
Yeah, it's a very tactical foul there. Knowing what Waldorf is good at on the counterattacks, you go for the ball, you get a little bit of the foot, and you sweep him down to the ground, and an easy whistle that stops play, and you're able to get numbers back behind the ball.
It's Hardy. Gives it over to Montero. Over to Lucas. And the Bruins dispossess, and they'll try to counter their own here. And it's went off the boot of Voss there. So 19 minutes to go now here. 2-0. Bellevue leading Waldorf in the second semifinal. And if the result holds, we will have a rematch between the Bruins and the Grizzlies. Same two teams that met last year in the conference championship. There's Cuenca. We'll cross it in. Fighting for it down in the corner is even Andy Jansen. Again, Andy Jansen with the big goal early off a volley into the back of the net. And then a few minutes later on the penalty kick, it was Toby Millward. Battling injuries this year, an honorable mention All-American last year, scoring a big goal to give Bellevue a 2-0 lead, and that's where we stand right now. Much to Matt's chagrin, the rain is picking up at an even greater clip now. So I don't know. We'll blame the weatherman.
Well, you know, honestly, I don't want to say become accustomed, but it's cold and rainy this time of the year in Atlanta anyways. This is past about 2 years in a row now. We've had to deal with cooler temperatures and a little bit of moisture. I mean, I was telling Ted Bridenthal this morning over a donut that I was like, it could be a lot worse. We could be snowing. It could be lightning. It could be a tornado. I mean, and especially for these teams that are coming from the Midwest and Iowa and Nebraska and
feels like home, probably.
They're pleasantly happy with these conditions as much as I want to complain about it. But we'll have glorious conditions tomorrow. It's going to be 55 and sunny tomorrow. It's going to feel like spring break for some of these teams.
Absolutely.
I'll try to be in a better mood tomorrow too, Nick.
Sunny and clear, that should do it.
Yeah, that does it for me, yes.
Loose ball over to the far side, and we have another free kick here. Right outside that box. So just over 16 minutes left.
I'm not so sure this foul occurred outside the box, for the record. I think initially the referee wanted to give it advantage because they were trying to switch the field. He was going to let it go if possession had continued in Bellevue's favor. But since it did not, I think he retroactively went back and called the foul and decided this ball was going to be outside the 18. I certainly don't think it warranted a second penalty kick, and so I think the referee took the lesser of the two evils.
So lining up, that's going to be Millward. Great opportunity here.
He's right-footed, so this doesn't bode well for a shot on frame.
Into the net it goes.
Or
a
does
roller.
it?
How about that? Don't doubt him.
Or
Toby
does
Millward
it? Wow.
with a brace. And that's going to do that. 3-0. The Bellevue Bruins can punch their ticket to tomorrow night's championship match.
Wow, he went around the two-man wall to the near post on the ground. Normally it's vindicative for a left-footed striker to go around that wall and bend it away from the goalkeeper. He actually bent it from the outside of the goal, tucked it inside the post, and the goalkeeper never got to it. That is why he smirked when he got the second-team all-conference nod, and normally he's an NAI All-American.
Oh, this is a statement now, no doubt. 3-0. This Bellevue team has come out to prove a point. The point is taken, and GGC, they'll certainly be the favorite, but they will have their hands full tomorrow night. The Bellevue Bruins just coming out here in the second half with some attitude. They've really amped it up a notch, and the end result is on the scoreboard.
All right, Nick, you said something that sparked my interest. What makes you believe that GGC would be the favorite tomorrow?
I think anytime you're playing at home, of course,
Okay.
that's an automatic advantage right there.
Sure.
You know, I think the Grizzlies certainly a lot of firepower up front. I think they may have some more playmaking ability than what we've seen here from this Waldorf team. No disrespect, of course, to Waldorf.
Sure.
I think they have a better chance of breaking down that back line. Again, though, as you said earlier, I think Bellevue does present a unique challenge matchup-wise. They are big. There's another opportunity for Millward. He almost had the hat trick. Look out now. He had a great look and just a little too much mustard on that one.
And again, I won't argue with you, Nick. I think if you know there were odds on the game or something like that, I think you're spot on. But let's put things in perspective here today. GGC gets a 1-0 win on a penalty kick in the 47th minute. Meanwhile, a healthy Bellevue team feels like they're one of the best teams in the nation, rolling to a 3-0 lead here in the semifinals. Bellevue is going to feel really good about themselves tomorrow in that championship.
They're certainly playing with some confidence. You can't say this is the same team from even a few weeks ago.
I couldn't agree more.
A team that is getting healthier.
And that's why there's multi-million-dollar hotels in Vegas, right? Because the people lose money when they gamble on games, not win money.
Impressive. You know, we've not really heard Aldeo's name a whole lot tonight. And so even when he's not been as involved maybe in other matches, they've still found a way to put some pressure on the attack and get some goals in the back of the net.
Yeah. I think what's fascinating from my perspective, I think it's a kind of a aha moment where I go, yeah, this is a pretty good Bellevue team that, judging by scores and box scores and tickers all season long, this is what I would have expected. And so to a degree, I've been somewhat disappointed by the Bruins this season. But if you're a Bruin fan, you go, this is what we're capable of. We are one of the best teams in the nation when we're healthy. We are expected to win the semifinals of a conference tournament 3-0. And so mixed emotions here for our viewers, whether you're the Bellevue faithful or perhaps a GGC faithful getting ready for tomorrow, or maybe a disappointed Warrior member here tonight.
You have to look back to the first part of the season in September when they were healthy. Of course, they had that big win against Central Methodist, still the nation's #1 team, and then won 4 of the next 5. Obviously, their health issues took a turn after that, but that's more indicative of the team they are than maybe the last month and a half. Just less than 12 minutes now. Bellevue just looking to ground this out. There's another cross in the box. That one's out. It's been a great season for Waldorf, but it does appear to be coming to an end. Rebound, shot, that's just wide of that far post.
Yeah, Waldorf's got a lot to be proud about, and Waldorf's got a lot to be proud about. Underneath head coach and Edgar Gonzaga. Let's put things in perspective. His first season on the sideline, they win the AI championship, and now the next two seasons, it looks like they'll be the third best team in the conference behind two final site caliber programs. You know, last year GGC and Bellevue were ranked in the top 12. GGC number 20.
There's a dangerous shot just over that crossbar.
GGC number 20 in the new poll this year, and Bellevue feels like they should be in that poll too as well. So all things considered, another 10-win season for Edgar Gonzaga, but you really don't know how good you are because the only real measuring stick you have as an independent in this AI championship, and you're going to finish third behind two of the best two teams in the nation. And so I know it hurts right now. Proud enough to be the 2 seed, proud enough to get that 10-win milestone, but don't be too discouraged. You're in a tough conference tournament, given some geographic challenges and some economical challenges too as well, being located in Forest City, Iowa. But back-to-back years, you've come to Lawrenceville and have nothing to be ashamed of.
A little extracurricular activity down there as the rain continues to pick up now.
Now we got problems.
Now
This is, unfortunately for Waldorf, this is Irvin Rodriguez, who gets in a shouting match with, I believe, Bellevue's John Cover.
Yeah, the ref's trying to sort it out down there.
And I'll give credit to Athos Montero. He stepped in immediately and grabbed his teammate and helped the situation, did Montero. And Montero got him to step away. The referee got Rodriguez a step away, and then you knew the next time Rodriguez even breathed on Cover, he was going to go to the ground. And so referee cooler heads prevailed there. We'll get a booking for Irving Rodriguez just to control the situation, this lopsided affair. It's certainly not what you want to see. You don't want to taint this season for the Warriors.
Absolutely not. Be Lopez taking this free kick here for Waldorf. Just over 9.5 minutes to go now. Big ball. And it looks like a push off down there in the box, so we'll go free kick the other way.
Yeah, referee's doing a good job here. Any sort of extracurricular off the ball, he's just not going to put up with it here. He's going to blow the whistle and come back the other way. The more that ball is moving, the better for everyone.
So that will be Wilkinson. Reset here. And
gamesmanship by Wilkinson. Wait, he goes here or there? Here? There? Where? Okay, over there? Gotcha. Meanwhile, the clock melts away.
Again, Toby Millward, the man of the moment, a brace tonight. We've talked about already making the second team all-conference this year, but he was an honorable mention All-American last season when healthy. Made the all-tournament team last year as well. First team all-conference in 2018.
Oh, by the way, just a junior, too, as well.
That's right.
Got to put up with him again next year. And by put up with him, I mean the rest of the NAI, including us here at the AII.
Bellevue now just content to play a
take the air right out of the ball
type
here.
game and just knock it out. kick it away and let Waldorf deal with it.
Classy move here by Edgar Gonzaga. Is going to get three as a sub that normally wouldn't have an opportunity to step onto the pitch. He'll let cooler heads prevail here and get the right subs in and out of the game. Meanwhile, as much rest as you can get for Bellevue. It'll be Juveno Jacinto. We'll get an extra 7.5 minutes of rest before tomorrow's championship game. 7 p.m. under the lights here in Lawrenceville, Nick. A repeat of last year's championship between two of the best teams in the nation. It'll be a good one.
Well, plenty of time to rest tonight. Get in, get a hot shower.
Oh,
take it easy tomorrow morning.
So good.
That rain's really driving you crazy, isn't it?
I mean, puts me in a bad mood if that's what you mean by crazy. Yeah, sure. No, we want to educate our fans, too, as well. Championship game on the AI men's side tomorrow at 7 p.m. And that all-tournament pass that you bought today to view both games will be good for tomorrow, too, as well. So you won't need to dip back into the pocket for another $12.95 tomorrow. That'll get you through the championship game tomorrow, too, as well. So we want to invite everybody back. Tune in a little bit early, too. Nick and I have a little pregame activity for you here as we set the stage for that rematch between Georgia and Bellevue. So a little housekeeping item there. We'll same exact place, ggcathletics.com. You can find us on the AI website, too, as well. We'll bring you to our portal page, and you can enjoy the Grizzly Digital Network for one more day.
Bellevue now, another opportunity. They've emptied the bench. There's a header into the box, and just over the reach there of Eli Brown.
Got a flag up on the far side. He's in the offside position for Brown.
Brown getting some PT, the freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska. We are now just 6 minutes from the end of this contest, and it is going to be Bellevue against Georgia Gwinnett College. It'll be a throw-in for the Bruins here. So, as we talked about earlier, Bellevue really dialing it up quite a few notches in the second half.
Yeah.
And they now have 10 total shots, 6 on target, and Waldorf still stuck on 3. None of those on target.
And I'm sure Markeith Press is going to divert a lot of the credit to his All-American and Toby Millward. But we challenged both the coaches at halftime. What adjustments were you going to make? We kind of put it on the shoulders of the coaches to make an impact on this second half. And so we're going to have to give Markeith Preston some credit there for this win.
Absolutely.
I mean, this team had 2 shots total at halftime, and only one of them were on goal. And now they're leading 3-0. And yes, Toby Millward certainly flexed his muscles here in the second half. But you got to give Coach credit for putting him in the right spots at the right time, or at least saying the right things to get him motivated to do what he did here in the second half.
Rain now falling about as hard as it's been all evening here.
I'd say definitely in this game, and I'd give it a contested hardest it's rained all day.
Quite a good bit of rain this morning here in Metro Atlanta.
And could you imagine, and again, this is a testament to Dr. Wilson and the staff here at Georgia Gwinnett College in the athletic department, but if this was a natural grass field and how bad it would have been torn up today and then have to play 2 championship games on it tomorrow, but this beautiful synthetic turf playing field is just as good in condition as day one as it is here tomorrow for the championship at 7 p.m. So certainly glad to be here. Take advantage of these wonderful facilities.
And it's great to have a match where the field's not going to have an impact on the quality of the game. So it's really allowed the 2 teams to determine who's going to be the best without interference.
And even sometimes when it rains for a little bit and then stops, that turf will get kind of slick. Well, we've probably caught about, I don't know, a third to quarter of an inch of rain today, half an inch at the most maybe, not quite a full inch. But when that sun will come out tomorrow morning that you have guaranteed that's going to happen tomorrow, Nick.
Bank on it.
Yeah, that turf will warm up just nicely. That the playing surface will be dry as a bone tomorrow and in pristine condition for that 7 o'clock kickoff under the lights.
So we are in the final 3 minutes now. It's just a matter of arithmetic. 3-0, Bellevue on their way to the title game. They'll get a rematch against the Georgia Gwinnett College team that knocked them off 1 year ago. Both of those teams ended up making the tournament, but the roles are reversed this time around. It's going to be Bellevue. They need the automatic bid,
Yep.
whereas GGC needed it last year. But another opportunity, if there's an upset for the AII, to send 2 teams in.
Ooh, that hurts. Joyens takes one to the chest on that cross. Add a little pain to your misery.
It'll be Cuenca on the throw-in. Again, a freshman, started every match this year for the Bruins. Here's Waldorf, maybe trying to get one in before we hit 0.
And again, before we get out of here, Nick, I again want to give proper credit to Edgar Gonzaga. You finished third to a degree, back-to-back years in the AI tournament, and the best 2 teams in the tournament are teams that are potentially going to play at the final site, at the very least in the national tournament. So it's a tough pill to swallow, but a quality 10-win season for him and his boys. Nothing to hang your head about. I know it's a tough one here that you're going to cold and the wet and the loss and the L that you're going to take back to Forest City, Iowa, but certainly that campus in Forest City, Iowa has a lot to be proud about with Edgar Gonzaga as their head coach.
Absolutely. So Warriors will finish the 2019 season with 10 wins, 6 losses, and 2 draws. That one is quickly saved by Ray. They did get a pair of victories over Bellevue in the regular season, but it was not to be tonight. It's, he said, hard to beat a team twice in the season, even harder to beat them 3 times, and it just couldn't get it tonight.
You ready for an early X factor for tomorrow?
Let's hear it.
I'm not 100% sure, but a little intangible. Bellevue is one of 2 teams that have their women's soccer team also playing in this AI championship, and unfortunately for the Bruins, they actually lost earlier today. So
Right.
I wonder if Markeith Preston could petition a little bit for the girls to stay around tomorrow to kind of provide some energy and excitement and support in the boys team.
Try to maybe
that
negate the home field just a little bit.
championship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know. You never know.
I'm sure it's a hefty bill in the hotel that he might have to fit, but if they all came on the same bus, I'm not sure. Do they catch flights? It'll be interesting to see.
10 seconds to go.
It'll be 55 and sunny according to Nick. So if the girls are paying attention and watching on the Bruins side, you got nowhere else to be, right? It's gonna be perfect out here.
And that's going to do it. Hats off to the Bellevue Bruins. They take out the number 2 seed Waldorf. 3-0 is your final, and Toby Millward, he's your man of the match. 2 goals for the juniors. Second team all-conference this year, but again, an All-American last year. And Bellevue may be catching fire at just the perfect time. Final look at your stats from this match. 10 shots for Bellevue, 6 on target, 4 for Waldorf, 1 on target for them. 15 fouls total tonight. And there's a look at your bracket. So we're down to our last 2. Tomorrow night, Matt, it's going to be the 1 seed, the GGC Grizzlies, taking on 3rd-seeded Bellevue with an automatic bid on the line.
Yeah, looking forward to it. 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We teased a little bit of storylines here tonight, but we'll have a full pregame festivities for you here. Check in about 10 minutes early, and we'll set the stage for a rematch of last year's championship. We'll talk about the matchups and what it means, automatic bids at large, RPIs, MRPIs, geographics, metrics, trigonometry, any other ometries I can come up with between now and then, Nick. We'll talk about it.
And all those old geometry class instruments, we may need them. Anyway,
protractors, compasses,
right.
I got them all, man. I got them all.
Also, not to be forgotten, of course, at 4 p.m. tomorrow, we'll have the women's championship. That's going to be Georgia Gwinnett College Grizzlies taking on the Viterbo. That's also a rematch of last year's conference title game. So 2 rematches. Revenge may be a theme tomorrow, but you'll have to do it on the home field of the host. So we'll see how that goes. But that's it. Your final here, Bellevue 3, Waldorf nothing. For Matt Mahoney, I'm Nick Banaszak on the Grizzly Digital Network. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
We'd like to thank our corporate sponsors who have made this broadcast possible, and you, the fans, for tuning in. For the latest information, log on to gtcathletics.com.